Yes, guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to be talking about how to run Facebook ads and actually get results. And if at the end of this you end up watching it and think, oh my god, I can't believe this, he just described perfectly everything I've been doing, then that is the reason that you haven't been getting results. So I'm just going to jump into it. And before I do, there's actually something that I want everybody watching to be able to understand, and that is, well, first of all, we have obviously here we've got Facebook ads, and they're broken down into essentially four different steps, four different components or parts which are involved in them, and that is the copywriting, the creatives, the offer, and the ad set slash campaign setup, and then I suppose there'd be the ad setup as well under that same box. Out of these, the creative is ultimately the most important because it's the one that people are going to be seeing. This can be photo, it can be carousel, it can be a video, it can be whatever you want. And like I say, I have that at the top there, order of importance. Then probably your offer, and I say offer. Let's say you're running ads for like a kitchen showroom or something. The offer could be sign up to get a free consultation, a free design session, even like a free brochure, something like that. Ad set and campaign setup. This would essentially be who it is that you're trying to target. You could be looking to do very broad targeting whereby you want to get as many leads as possible. You don't care if they're male, female, older, younger, income bracket, whatever you want. And then the copywriting is essentially just the caption for the post. You could say, hey, here's us at dot 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 kitchens. Come get your free design session, whatever it is that it may be. Anyways, that is all the components of Facebook ads explained. I want to go through essentially, what do we call this? A brain model that I want to show everybody. So before you understand, before I show you exactly what it is I'm gonna be instructing you to do to actually get results instead of just throwing money down the drain, I want you to be able to understand something first. And what that is this. Can't seem to make text. There we go. So this is the algorithm. And I want you to think of the algorithm as being like nature, okay? So nature, conditions for survival, and all of your ads as being animals or organisms within nature, within that, what's the ecosystem? That's the word I'm looking for. So there's the algorithm, which is, we're gonna say just dash nature. And then you've got all of your ads. Let's draw wee circles. I'll just hit copy. So copy, and then if I do command V, so yeah, you get the picture. This is like an ecosystem, and these are all your ads or animals in the ecosystem or ads within the algorithm. You get what I'm trying to say. So if you could think of each of these as all having different features, let's say this is like a giraffe, this is a mouse, this is a rhino. Yeah, anyways, so imagine nature sets the conditions for survival. Everybody needs food and water, but all of a sudden, all the food is really high up in the trees, and the rhino can't reach it, and the mouse can't reach it because they can't climb up the tree. But the giraffe, because it has a really long neck, is able to reach up and eat all the food. So it survives. It has met the conditions for survival, and it will be successful within that ecosystem essentially. It's exactly the same for ads. If an ad has a condition which does meet the algorithm, it does meet the conditions for success, based off of all those things that I discussed. If it has the right copywriting and creative offer, ad set and campaign setup, then it will be successful within that algorithm. How do you actually find one that is going to be successful based on the conditions set by the algorithm? I'm going to show you now. So, a lot of people, whenever they set up an ad, they will do, we'll do the other shape. They'll do this. So they have their campaign, and then they have their ad set. And then they have their creative. So you're probably wondering, yeah, what's wrong with that? I do that every time I'm setting up ads. If you are, there's probably a reason that you find them so annoying and aren't working for you. So basically, campaign, and ad set, and then creative. So, yeah, you're thinking, yeah, great. So there's the campaign level, there's the ad set level, and then there is the creative, which as you can see is down here. And then obviously you have, you're obviously going to throw in the rest: copyright and offer, ad set, campaign, all of that. So like I say, campaign, ad set, creative, one campaign, one ad set, and one creative. How do you think that the algorithm is going to respond to that? If we think back to the analogy that I made with nature, let's take this and flip it. So you've got one creative, one ad being tested by the algorithm. If we flip this to one organism being tested by nature, off the top of my head, let's say if we took a human and we put them in Antarctica, in an ecosystem in Antarctica, how do you think that the human is going to survive? They won't, is the truth. They're not going to survive. I don't know the exact stats, but I'm pretty sure that the humans on their own, when exposed in Antarctica, can expose for maybe about a minute. They can be exposed for a minute before they obviously get sentenced to not living. Or if you took like a white mouse in a forest, but obviously the floor is going to be brown, it's not going to survive because it'll get eaten by all the birds of prey and the animals and foxes and all of that. So how do we apply this to our ads? Obviously, you don't want to just give the one chance whereby you take like one human and put them in one ecosystem. Same way you don't want to take one ad campaign and then place that in the algorithm. So essentially, a way that you can combat this is, I'll just start a new diagram. If you do campaign, and let's say we take, this is how I do them anyway, so we're going to do 4 different ad sets. Another one, and another one. So, ad set, ad set, ad set, ad set. Okay, so, and I'll just draw this by hand because it'll take me ages, but, so yeah. One campaign, 4 different ad sets, and within each ad set, you can have multiple ads. Me, I just use one, and I'll tell you the reason for it. The reason for it is that whenever you group a load of different ads into one ad set, let's say one ad returns a lead, all of a sudden Facebook's going to funnel all the spend into that one ad within the ad set, and it doesn't give a fair chance to the rest of them. So I split each ad into its own ad set, that way it gets a fair distribution of the budget. But for each ad set, you can include multiple ads. I don't think I would recommend it initially. I think you should probably test the way that I just said, have the one creative in each ad set, but you can obviously conceptualize this with more ads. I'm not trying to make this like so perfect, I'm just trying to allow you to conceptualize it, and that is just off of the basis of the brain model that we were doing with algorithm and nature. But you get the picture. So instead of having campaign, ad set, and creative, all of a sudden now you've got creative. Yeah, you get the picture. So they're all creatives here. Instead of having just one campaign, one ad set, and one creative, all of a sudden you have one campaign, one campaign, 4 ad sets. You can have as many ad sets as you like, by the way, but don't necessarily compromise so much on budget. I don't know if I'd recommend really any less than about £5 per ad set, just based on my own personal experience. And then for each ad set, you can have as many creatives as you want, but I initially recommend that you only take one creative for each ad set. That way you can see which one performs best based off the budget, and they all get a fair test. And here is the even better thing. For each ad, you can then go off and you can test for the copywriting. You can also test the offer. And what was the last one? Yeah, that was it. You can test the copywriting and the offer. So imagine all of these. So 2 more boxes for each one of these boxes here, which is already off of these 4 boxes and off of that one. And that is all compared to the 1-1-1 approach, which was initially set, and which is the one that most people do. You'd be amazed by how many people do it. And if you are sitting here thinking, yes, I've done this and I haven't seen any results, then this is exactly why. Because it's like taking a human and putting them in any random ecosystem in the world. They're not going to be able to survive. Or taking any random animal and placing them in any random ecosystem. It is about finding what works nature has found what works, and there's a reason that you get things like chameleons who live in jungles and are able to camouflage in with stuff. That has happened over a long period of time, and they've adapted, and nature has essentially set the conditions for survival, and they have all adapted and found what works best. Nature has found what works best for the ecosystem. You want to think of yourself as being Mother Nature, or Mother Algorithm, shall we say, and you are trying to find ad which works best for the conditions for survival which have been set by the algorithm. How do you do it? You do it like this. You have a campaign, you have multiple ad sets, you test multiple different ads in that, and then after you test the ads, you want to test copyright, and you want to go on and test the offer as well. And if you want to get really into detail, you can even go on and test things like landing page. Let's say you would implement a landing page if you were getting a lot of leads, but they were of low quality. You want to increase the friction, or make it more difficult for leads to get through. You can test the lead form. You can test profile visits. You can test higher intent. These are all in the campaign level, but yeah, so the point is that there's like an almost endless number of things that you can look to test, try and find something that works best for the algorithm and for your audience, essentially, to see what gets the best results. I can't tell you what that's going to be because I don't know what you're selling, I don't know what you're trying to achieve. Like, for example, I was running ads for a kitchen showroom there just recently. Well, we're still running the ads. And we had a lot of leads. We had a lot of leads coming in very quickly. But whenever we actually got in touch with them, it was like they couldn't get us off the phone quick enough. They just thought, oh, this is someone trying to make a sales call. But the reason that we had the ad out, the only reason people would become a lead is because they had applied for a free consultation, but they didn't realize that because it was so easy for them to become a lead, to say, yes, I want the consultation. They didn't even realize they were doing it. So whenever we rang them up and said, hey, just getting you booked in for your consultation, like, oh, I don't want one, and then they'd hang up on you straight away. So I decided, okay, I can't be bothered with all of these low quality leads, so I essentially made it a lot more difficult on the lead form for those guys to actually submit their request. And what happened was we got a lot less leads, but the ones who actually did submit the form, the ones that did become a lead, were of much higher intent. And we've got 5 new high quality leads since we made that change, and every 5 of those leads has been booked in for a consultation since, and that's in the showroom. So yeah, you get the picture, guys. Campaign, lots of ad sets, lots of ads, lots of different things to test within the ads, as opposed to just the 1-1-1 approach. You're trying to find what suits the conditions for survival best. Same as the nature analogy that we made. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope this helps with your ad campaigns, whatever it is you have going on at the minute. And see you in the next one. Cheers.